Okay, please welcome Emilio Mazzucatelli, Advanced Communicator. Wait, you have a DTM, right? Oh, not yet. The Advanced Communicator, Bronze, Competent Leader. Emilio E. Mazzucatelli, Conformity.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, Toastmaster guests, and dignitaries. Why do people settle at a certain point in life? He was asking a master sensei to his disciple. He said, I want to teach you a strong lesson for you to get ahead in life instead of being left behind. But if I just tell you the lesson, it's going to go away very fast. But if you experience it, your nervous system is going to intervene, and that's how experiences stick with you, and you're able to apply them in the future. So the next day, they go very early in the morning. They have a long walk. They get to a very humble village. They locate the poorest house they can find, and they stand right in front. From the poorhouse, a man comes out, looks like the head of household, followed by 7 other people of the family. Very poor. It looks like they were wearing like remainings of clothes. And the little house seemed to be blown away by the first wind. So they start chatting about that circumstance, how they got there. And the people said, well, we're not that unfortunate after all. We have a cow also. Yeah, we work out the cow, we consume its products, and we sell a little bit, so we're surviving, you know? So after a while, the man said, you guys can stay in your tent in the back of our house, if you like, for the night, before you get on your trip back. So they stayed the night, and early in the morning, like at 5 a.m., it was still dark. The sensei said, let's go. Time to go. But they stopped by the cow first. So they were patting the cow, and the student says, can you believe this cow is this family's only resource? The very elements for these people to still be alive on this planet? The sensei said, yeah, certainly, I am aware of that. While he reached his bag, he reached a little sword, and he stabbed the animal, one shot to death, dropped heavily to the ground. The student was horrified. He said, have you gone insane? Is this the story really, the lesson for me? To kill an animal? To doom these people to poverty forever, to misery? The sensei just looked and smiled and said, it's time to go. They left, they never spoke about it again. But a couple years later, the sensei said, let's go back to that town. The student got ready and said, hopefully there's no murder involved this time. They got there and the student started looking around. They didn't find that little house. He kept looking and looking, but instead there was a beautiful house built right there. So he said, look, probably these people were kicked out of this place, and now these people are born, or they died, they starved to death. The sensei said, why don't you just knock on the door and start a conversation? The student says, and said what? Say what? I don't know, practice your impromptu skills. Something's gonna come out. So he knocks the door, and a well-dressed man comes out, and the student confused, he said, I'm looking for a poor family that was here settled like a couple years ago. The man said, oh, that will be us. What? How? When? Why? What happened? The man said, well, like a couple of years ago, we went through a very strong tragedy. We found our cow dead. Not funny. And we were devastated. We didn't know what to do. We had all these feelings and thoughts of death. It was the end of us. But after those emotions started going away, we started thinking through a little bit better. And we came out with the conclusion that we have to make something happen no matter what. So the first thing we did is gather some seeds from around. We planted them in the back in our yard. We cleaned the garbage. And then we start eating from our own fruits and vegetables. Soon enough, we had enough to sell to our neighbors. We made a little cash. And the first time in our lives that we got to wear new clothes, all of us. We kept doing this and reinvesting in seeds and planting. And soon enough, we opened a spot in the market. And then we kept going and going. And then we opened 5 more. We have people working for us now Soon enough, we bought this piece of land and we built our house. We just finished building our house. The student was astonished. He said, thanks for sharing that beautiful story. That's one of the most incredible things I ever heard. When he turned around, the sensei was watching with a smile. He said, what have you learned? Now I get this. He said, what these people went through, what they believed was a blessing, that cow, their instrument of survival, was the very element that was keeping them behind, preventing them from this type of life. You know what? I just cracked the answer why people settle. It's not really in the negatives in your life that you're held back, but in what you believe are the positives, but that they are not. What the cow represents in a harsh way is for you to remember that it means sacrifice. You have to learn the art or the skill to let go and to walk away from things that no longer serve your purpose. But it's also a skill, a life skill. People tend to try to hang on to everything they can during life, but that's impossible. You have to start learning how to let go gradually. But because if not, life is still going to take it away from you, and then it's going to feel like a loss. Not if you let it go first and understand the meaning. Usually like these people, after emotions are gone, you get to understand what things meant in the past. So whether it is a person, a relationship, a partnership, a job, a business, a belief, a tradition, or a lifestyle, what is holding you back? And how can you find out? I think through deep analysis, you can come to a conclusion. But remember, it's a hidden enemy. Even the things that you believe are the good ones. Because whatever your success or your meaning of success is to you, the opposite is not failure, actually. Failure teaches you. The opposite is conformity. Mr. Toastmaster.
Okay, thanks a lot.